We are standing in front of an institute born in 1988, specialized in research into asthma and allergies, health problems that nowadays affect more and more people around the world. What about you, Michele? Do you also suffer from asthma and allergies from time to time?
Occasionally, yes.
Then it's the perfect place for us.
Andiamo.
Allergic diseases have become more and more prevalent in recent decades. Today, more than 1 billion people suffer from allergies. Why are so many of us afflicted by this condition? We are looking for answers at the Swiss Institute of Allergy and Asthma Research in Davos. Pollutants affect the skin, lungs, and intestines, organs that are vital to our immune system.
Our main research is focusing on understanding of the molecular mechanisms, cellular mechanisms, and how so many diseases are happening. Currently, 1 out of 4 people have one kind of a chronic disease, like allergies affecting about 10 to 20% of the population, atopic dermatitis about 10% of the population, allergic rhinitis 20% of the population in Switzerland. BSL2 laboratory.
How many female scientists are working here? Do you know?
Around 65% is female. So
it's
our
a high
gender
percent.
balance is perfect.
The institute grew out of the Tuberculosis Research Institute Davos, founded in 1905.
Karl Turban was the first doctor who initiated high-altitude research. So he was interested that there are so many patients coming to high altitude, to the sanatoriums, and around 1903 he established the Tuberculosis Research Institute. And Alexander Spengler is the person who initiated high-altitude treatment in 1850s. So he brought the high-altitude treatment to Davos, and he established it also in the world. And many centers followed on the Alps, also in Denver, Colorado. High-altitude treatment was followed in the right way because tuberculosis patients, when they were coming here, Alexander Spengler realized that they are healing, they are getting better. High altitude has an effect. The first one is the environment is very healthy here. There is not much pollution. There is almost very few house dust mite. There is no pollens that make inflammation in the lungs. So the air quality is amazingly good compared to an inner city. The second thing, in our molecular research, we understood that there are cells which are developing to keep the inflammation at the low level, are increasing in the body in high altitude, and they make the inflammation in the lungs because of tuberculosis at the low level. So the patients do not get so sick, and the treatment works to kill the mycobacteria in a better way.
Today, high-tech tools are used to examine human cells and to find the causes of diseases. Can you tell us what's happening here?
So this is a mass spectrometer that measures proteins. From the data, we can determine which proteins are contained in a sample, which proteins change under certain conditions, and what changes when people are sick. Because proteins are the part in the cell that are responsible for making everything work. They are the workhorses in the cell. So if we examine the proteins, we can always see what exactly is happening. This thing cost 1.4 million Swiss francs.
Wow.
We also noticed the emergency showers in the hallways.
Das Vorschrift in Labors. Unten im Chemical.
That's the regulation for laboratories. Down in the chemical room, there are enough chemicals to poison half of Switzerland. If I have an accident and spill an acid or a base on myself, I can stand under this shower.
Bekleckere im Unfall, dann kann ich hier drunter.
We don't take morning showers here.
These are small 3 millimeter lungs. They are in culture. can see the cells and the small, this is the small lung.
And where do you take these tissues from?
From human biopsies, you grow the cells and then you make them like like a lung here.
Okay, so you can create them from biopsy here.
Yes.
Okay.
Lung cells are cultivated and then used to test toxic substances.
Actually, the concept of toxicity has changed. Before, they were looking if the mouse are dying or not. They are calculating the lethal dose. Currently, we can calculate the molecular toxicity dose. That's what we are doing now. We are not looking at death only, we are looking at disease, with what's happening, what is taking place. Molecular changes, metabolic changes of the cell, and if the cell is going into the direction of a disease, and we can understand this very early. After 1960s, there was 350,000 chemical molecules were introduced to our lives. And this is a high number. Exposure to chemicals, detergents, or air pollution, or food additives and ingredients. They are all affecting our lives badly because they are changing the character of our cells. So we are talking about climate change in the nature, and we are also working on climate change inside our body because there's a climate change of our cells.